On March 30th, 2020, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan issued a state stay-at-home order amidst growing cases of the COVID-19 virus. This national emergency has affected the lives of people all around, but some of the hardest hit have been small business owners. Even the businesses that have managed to stay open or have reopened operate completely different than before. These people, many of whom rely on their small businesses, all have their own unique stories.
Mountain City Center for the Arts is an inclusive performing arts facility located here in Western Maryland. And the goal is to motivate courageous and compassionate young artists to make the world a better place through the arts. We began in 2013. I moved home from California. I wanted to be closer to home, but also wanted a place that I wanted to have when I was a kid. So a place where you could learn all the performing arts skills, but also have a community and a tribe of people that got you. So that's how it got started, and we've been in business. This will be year 7 that we've been in business.
Sure. So we teach traditional Taekwondo martial art here down in Clairysville, Maryland. I have been a business owner for 20 years. I've been doing martial arts for 32. It's just exciting stuff. We teach kids as early as 3.5, and I think our oldest student was in her 80s many years ago. But we have big kids and little kids of all ages. We help out everybody down here at the studio.
I wear a couple of hats in Frostburg. First and foremost, I've been here at Mountain City Traditional Arts for about 7 years. I've been the assistant director, so I manage, the day-to-day and our student staff. We're a Frostburg State University run arts and folklore and folk life venue. So we do a lot of music performances. We run the Winter Farmers Market. We have over 100 local vendors, selling their traditional art. We do workshops and talks and all kinds of things like that here. Obviously, we've been doing a little bit less of that this year. But then I also, for the last 2 years, have been with Frostburg First down the street. And so we coordinate with all of our local businesses to try to help with economic revitalization. We manage the Arts Entertainment District for Frostburg, help run all the major events like Arts Walk, Small Business Saturday, Pig Out in the Park, things like that are all in our purview. And just to try to help all of our businesses, stay afloat and be productive. And we're basically the tourism entity for the town. So.
The COVID-19 pandemic changed many things for shop owners and customers alike, but not all have been negative. Everyone has found their own ways to adapt and stay positive through the challenges of shutting down.
In a lot of ways, the pandemic gave me time to set up the store when there was no people about and I wasn't under pressure to be open. I opened after retail stores were allowed to be open in Maryland. So I think it has both negative and positive effects. The positive being that because everything was shut down, it gave me more time, because I was going to open before, it gave me more time to really think about the space and try and be able to do it as safely as possible. But also it gave some people a thing to look forward to. And I think that was really important for the spirit of a community, to have things that they're excited about.
And so the pandemic didn't really bring anything new to the surface. It just exposed the cracks that maybe we could be doing better, like better communication, clearer communication. When you don't get to see everybody, like we take for granted, when everyone would come to the studio, you could just talk to them. Well, now it was all through Zoom. So you had to really get clear about how you were communicating with your students, but also parents and clients, so that they knew what was happening. And then it kind of reinvigorated everybody to figure out how do you teach online, and how do you sing? How could you do all these things and still make it a quality product? So for me, I'm really grateful, and we came together as a team really well and quickly to transition online. So that really, I think the world shut down on the 16th, on the 17th of March, we were teaching online. So I'm really proud of that, because that took a lot of determination and creative thinking. It wasn't always awesome. Obviously, there were things that happened that went wrong, but we shifted pretty quickly and pretty clearly. And I think now the business is stronger because of the things that happened during COVID, because it exposed the cracks that we needed to fix. We delegated more, and everything everything just kind of tightened up. And now we also have this awesome opportunity to connect all over the world. So there are students now that Shelby's actually teaching, our voice teacher, from West Virginia, because they can teach online, and from varying states. So our focus has gotten wider because we can reach more people this way, which I don't know that we would have ever thought about that if we weren't kind of forced to.
And then, of course, in mid-March, we were forced to close. So we closed for 3 months. Our business immediately pivoted, and we went online to an online model through patreon.com. So we did that for 3 whole months, and mid-June, we opened back up. The pandemic really did a lot of good things for our business. It forced us to adapt and be creative, also think outside the box. It sort of woke everybody up, say, hey, what you've been doing to this point isn't gonna work moving forward. So you have to adapt and evolve, and that's kind of what we did. Also then, of course, once we reopened, now we have to try to figure out how to exercise classes and operate the number of people that we normally have on any given night, how to have them come in safely and be socially distant. Of course, masks and cleaning of touch points, and we actually sanitize the mat, the chairs, the stools, the pens, door handles between every single class.
Unique perspective on it because I've been able to see it from kind of a higher perspective where I get to see how it affects all of the businesses, but then I'm also managing a small business at the same time, so I've gotten to see it, from the inside as well. And it has been interesting to change things here in the store. We have, tape down on the floor in here. We have, a path of travel. We got arrows down. We've got a lot of signage. We've got a lot of hand sanitizer and trying to throw things that we just started our first winter farmers market and, coming up with how many people are we going to allow in the store if we already have 6 farms in here, plus, me and my staff member, then, that's already 8 people. And so, how do we manage that? But also providing a venue for, local farms to be able to sell their goods to the community, and for community members to be able to have access to local food, especially, around the holidays. And so it's been an interesting balancing act to try to keep everyone safe.
Obviously, we did take a hit because people don't have, in the area that we live in, internet access isn't readily available to everyone, which is a shame, but it's the reality. So a lot of people, while they were really happy with the product that we were offering, couldn't sustain because they didn't have access to internet. Or parents were both working from home and they didn't have the capabilities to also get the students online because mom and dad are working. So we definitely had, some shift of losing some clients, but it could have been a lot worse. And a lot of people stuck it out and continued to work with us and continued to invest in us, and believe in our product and believe in our teachers. And that was really humbling and incredible at the same time, because it makes you really proud that people appreciate what you do and the team that you've created and the idea that you've created, and that they see the value in the arts, because a lot of times that's not always the case.
Yes, there's no business that I know of locally that has not been affected by the pandemic. So yes, our gross revenue as well as net revenue took a huge, massive hit. But most importantly, our influence wasn't there. If we don't have students in the building, we can't make a difference. And that's the biggest thing, because people are sitting around doing nothing when usually they're coming to the studio, they're exercising, they're having creative engagement with each other. They're getting that love and support that they don't maybe don't get anywhere else. We're not unable to do that. So the biggest thing is we lost influence. But since we've opened back up, numbers are continuing to increase, and our influence is on the rise, and that makes me really happy.
As social distancing and isolation set in place, community became stronger than ever. Many Frostburg businesses and community members found comfort in coming together despite the physical distance.
I think it's been unique from the Frostburg First perspective to see all of Frostburg kind of come together. Everybody has, universal signage. We have our, Frostburg is a COVID compliant community, in every single window. Our community is just so supportive, and they want to come together and they want to make sure that everybody's safe, that I feel like Frostburg businesses is, Main Street is probably one of the safest places to shop for, this season right now, because all the business owners care so much. And we've seen a lot of the restaurants pulling together to bring meals to frontline workers, and take them to the hospitals and things like that. and just everybody's working together. So if one business is kind of struggling, then other businesses will share their social media posts and try to pick them up. We haven't had any business, be in danger of closing, which is unique for a downtown right now. So we're very, very lucky, I think, that all the businesses seem to be supporting each other. So if you saw, there was a thing that Clatter did where they were like, come here and order an espresso shot and then go to McFarland's and get a scoop of ice cream and then come back and you pour it on top, pour the espresso. It's like just trying to work together to say, like, buy from these other places too. Like when Clatter opened their dining room, a lot of the furniture in there came from Giuseppe's old furniture. Like, it's just that everybody wants there's no competition. Everybody wants everybody to succeed, so it's just, it's really cool.
I try and work with other businesses, work with Fred at the bookstore, work with the Nettle Patch, work with Clatter, because that's how we're gonna survive this. Working as a community.
I think it's funny that people can make a positive out of anything. The amount of small businesses that are selling masks and making them. Madison Page Boutique, Ladybug Boutique, and here at Mountain City Traditional Arts, we sell masks. And in fact, the masks that are here are made by my mother, which is something that's kind of funny, that you can find a way to make money and make pretty much anything, productive. Is that not the American way?
More emphasis needs to be put on service, of taking care of your people. If you take care of them, they're going to take care of you, regardless if there's a crisis.
I just saw a quote the other day about from an author I really like called Glennon Doyle, and she was like, everything is different now. And it's okay that everything is different now. And it will be different. And we will all be different because of this pandemic. I think it's our choice in what different is. If it is a different that is, I'm going to look at, I slowed down, I got to connect with my family. If we try to focus on the positive, and I don't want to ignore the negative, because that's also been really hard too, and we can't ignore those things.
The COVID-19 pandemic has affected the day-to-day lives of nearly all Americans. It has forced each one of these small businesses to adapt and innovate as they try to transition into a new normal. Each small business has been faced with the challenge of dwindling staff members and customers while implementing new social distancing and public health practices. While it may look bleak right now, actions are being taken to protect small businesses and ensure their survival during these tough times. The coronavirus pandemic is unlike anything we've seen in our lifetime. There are currently a lot of unknowns, but by being proactive and preparing, every small business owner is taking the steps to protect their business along with others around them. The city of Frostburg has come together to ensure no small business is left behind.